So I had a light bulb moment the other day that I just had to share with you. So for years, I was holding on to this just in case stuff, things that I wasn't really even using anymore, because apparently I thought someday I might wake up and say, yep, today's the day we are going to start that life all over again. But the problem was that day, it never really came, right? And deep down, I think I knew it wasn't going to. So I finally let those things go. And guess what? Nothing bad happened. Now, that doesn't mean nothing happened at all, because something actually did. And that's the part you don't want to miss. Hey there, my name's Tracy Lynn, and I help midlife women and men right size their homes so they fit the lives they're living right now. And today, I would like to talk to you about what actually happened when I let go of the stuff that I was no longer using, right? Because this was a huge eye opener for me. And honestly, I wish I had figured this out a whole lot sooner, because it really would have stopped quite a few overstuffing problems in my home. All right. So I really thought I was going to regret it, right? I thought I'd need it again at some point, or I'd miss it, or I'd be kicking myself later thinking, why did I get rid of that, right? And honestly, that's probably why I kept most of it. Not because I was actually using it, but because I thought I might need it again. And the kicker is, it wasn't small stuff either, right? Here's the thing. I used to live on 10 acres. I think I told you this before. I had goats, I had pigs. I should say we had goats, we had pigs, chickens, gardens, all of it, right? I was doing all of the homesteading things. And that was a really big part of my life back then. But now I live in the suburbs, really close to living in the city, with neighbors close enough that if I'm on the phone, they could probably hear what I'm ordering for takeout. So yeah, it's a completely different life now. But for some crazy, irrational reason, I was still holding on to random things from my old life, like I might go back to it tomorrow. I had egg hatching supplies. I had goat tagging equipment. I had the big milking jars. Yeah, I kept all of those. I even had these heat lamps for when our goats had baby kids, and for our chicken coop in the winter. A chicken coop I don't even have anymore. And I just kept it, not for a short while, but for years. And now I look back on it and I'm like, what was I going to do? Start tagging goats in the suburbs when I've got neighbors close enough to hear me sneeze? Yeah, I don't think so. And I know it sounds ridiculous, especially when I'm saying it out loud to you. But here's the thing. I think in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, what if, right? What if I do decide to do that again? What if I actually need these things someday? And then one day I caught myself and I thought, oh my gosh, Tracy, what are you doing? I'm storing a life I hadn't lived for years, and it's taking up precious space in the life I'm living right now. And that realization pretty much stopped me completely in my tracks. Okay, so at that point, I finally made the decision and I started going through it and getting rid of it. And I sold some of it. We sold some of it at our yard sale in the spring. I donated some of it. And I even gave a few things away to friends who could actually use those things, right? Which felt a whole lot better than those things sitting in a box in my basement doing absolutely nothing. And I remember thinking, okay, here it comes. This is the part when I'm going to regret it. But that's not even close to what happened. What actually happened was things got easier. And I don't mean in some big, dramatic, life-changing kind of way, right? I mean in little everyday moments that used to feel like work before. They were just a little bit easier now. I started walking into rooms and I didn't immediately start thinking about what needed to be done. You know that feeling where you walk into a room and your brain starts making this to-do list without even asking you if it's okay before it does that? Yeah, that all started going away. And I wasn't looking at these random piles thinking, oh my gosh, I need to deal with that. I wasn't opening cabinets, having to shuffle everything around just to find what it is that I needed to grab. Everything, it just kind of quietly settled down in this subtle yet noticeable way. And honestly, here's the best part, I think. Cleaning didn't take an hour anymore. I could walk through and reset a space in just a couple of minutes and be completely done. And I'm not talking about picture perfect rooms that you see online or you see in magazines, if people even still get those anymore. I'm talking about real life rooms that are just good enough for me, right? They're neat, they're put away. I can find the things that I need without stressing out, and I can put things back. The rooms, they work for me. They make sense. They're simple. They're easy. Okay. And the biggest change, that space in my basement that was holding all that random just in case stuff, it wasn't this creepy little storage corner anymore, and that I tended to avoid every time I went down there. It was open now, right? It was clear. It had more space. The basement didn't feel dark and dingy. It actually felt like another area of my home. So what I did was I took that new open space and I decided to turn it into something I think almost every grandmother wants in their home, a playroom. But not just a playroom for the grandkids where I send them down while I'm trying to cook dinner, but a playroom where I can be down there with them. So I made a little cozy corner for myself. I put a lamp down there, a little end table, our recliners down there, and an ottoman. I even put a blanket down there, right? Not that I'm this fragile woman that needs to be warm, but a basement's cold, and I like to be cozy. So now I can be down there and I can be with them while they're playing. I can help them build Legos. I can play games with them, read books with them, because I have two grandkids and each one climbs on each side of my chair and I sit in the middle and we read books together. And I didn't have an opportunity to do that before because I was keeping random stuff, right? Okay. So the biggest lesson is this: because I let go of a bunch of stuff, I made space for actual living. And that right there, that's what I didn't really see coming. I thought I was giving something up. And what I was actually doing was finally choosing the life I'm living over the one I wasn't. Now, I know some of you might be sitting there thinking, yeah, Tracy Lynn, that's great, but I'm not a grandmother. That's not my situation. I don't have chickens, and the things I have, they're important. I might actually need those someday, like for real. And I get that. I really, really do. So let me tell you what happened to me just a short time ago. So we were getting ready to host a family picnic, and I needed to make a bunch of food. And I realized I could really use a second air fryer. And my husband looks at me and he says, what happened to the other one? Didn't we used to have two? And I'm like, yeah, but I sold that at last year's yard sale. And he looks at me and he goes, that wasn't very smart, was it? And for a split second, I thought, oh, great, here it comes. This is the regret. This is the moment that I've been waiting to happen. But then I thought about it and I said, wait a second. If I only need a second air fryer once, maybe twice a year, why in the world would I store that thing in my house all year long? All I need is to borrow one, right? And that's exactly what I did. We borrowed one, we used it, we gave it back, and life moved on. And the best part is, I didn't have to store the thing for 364 days just to use it for one. And here's what I learned. You might need something again someday. That's totally true and possible, right? But if that happens, you borrow it, you rent it, you buy it, or you MacGyver something to get you through. And yes, I'm assuming if you're watching me, then you know who MacGyver is. What you don't do is keep it in your house for years, moving it around, cleaning around it, thinking about it just in case. Because I did that, and all it did was get in the way of enjoying my life in the moment. And if you're sitting there right now looking at your own just in case stuff, don't overthink this. Just pick a few things, not everything, just a few. Let them go and see what happens. If nothing major does, do it again next week and just keep going until your home starts to feel like it finally fits your life right now. Okay, that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And remember, we've got a free resource down in the comments below. Just scroll down, look for that link, copy it, paste it, and you'll be on your way to grabbing just a little extra help in the right size living method. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget to leave a comment because I really love reading how this approach is helping you. And if it's not helping you, hey, that's okay too. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.